Hey folks, peace and blessing. I'm glad you're here. This is a really important announcement. I'm changing the way that we do something here on this particular channel. If you're not subscribed yet, you want to subscribe, okay? So this Brothers of Jesus channel, we used to do live streams 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, I think was my longest on this channel. And then we stopped doing them. And then I ended up going the reverse process, which was literally 14, 30-second, 60-second shorts. I'm going to continue doing that, but going forwards, we're going to be opening up the live streaming. Now, the live streaming had certain requirements. It was very constrained because that was a project in itself, and it was designed to unify a brethren on one truth. Do I regret that? Not at all. I don't regret anything, and I still believe in that. But God has put it in my heart now to change up the beat. Okay, we're going to change it up. We're going to open it up more so. And with this basic knowledge of accountability, okay, and discussion, right? So it's going to be moderated, definitely be moderated, but it's going to be more so we don't want people that are going to mock, etc. and do this. And we're all going to work on ourselves, yeah? That's critical that we're going to work on ourselves. But the point of this is to bring forth, your view or your discussion, and then have others, show their view so that people can really make a fair assessment on what they believe, and maybe you might, with your conversation, convince them. That's the point. And so in doing this, I think this is going to be much more beneficial. In the other channel, like I said, I do not have no regrets. Essentially, it fell apart. And the reason, and what I mean by fell apart, is that unification that we're grasping, it got down to this minutia of, differences. And I just found that people, as a whole, we couldn't come to an agreement, and it ended up dispersing one by one, right? I still believe in unification. However, let's try it this way. And I think that, I believe that God's put this in my heart in the last day. Today was a confirmation to me. So I'm hoping that this is going to bring much fruit. Again, we're going to play it by ear, step by step, slowly feeling our way. There will be moderation. There are some people out there that are they're up to no good, essentially. But I don't have no problems bringing them in to this live streams and listening to their point of view, and then having others. This is not about me refuting or being the only one to discuss a different view. Essentially, what I want is many individuals discussing how they see it differently, or that's not correct in their view. And I want to keep track of everything, essentially. So if someone, for example, brings up a particular scripture, then I want it to be recorded, that particular scripture, and that person's position. Remember, I said accountability, right? And discussion. So then I want to be able to store that somewhere so that we can add to, let's say, Matthew 13. Let's say, for example, Matthew 13, a verse in Matthew 13, verse 5, let's say, for example. And I want to somehow create some thing where we can organize it. So the discussion on Matthew 3:15, let's say, it will be added to. So someone later on in, 3 months down the road might want to discuss that or look at that. And we have already a view by different individuals, and they can add to that view or subtract from that view. And the point is that so people can go and look at that. Matthew 3:15, for example. I don't even know what Matthew 3:15 is, guys. So I don't want anybody to be intimidated. But basically, we're bringing forth people's argument. And instead of just hearing, them quote a scripture, we want to hear their interpretation or what they think it means, so that everyone can make an informed decision. Was that a good interpretation, or was this person that just came on actually a better interpretation, revealed something that we didn't see before? That's the whole point of this. And so we'll play it by ear, step by step. But I just want to tell you, this will be open to all the people. I don't know how far I want to go, but I mean, I think everyone, atheists, whatever God you believe in, I guess. And I'm sure that we'll have individuals that will be able to challenge your view. And again, I'm stressing, this is not just about me defending my position, because I don't really, like, for example, when it comes to atheists, I really don't know how to argue with them or not. And that's the key. When I mean argue, I mean discuss. I don't really know how to discuss, essentially, I don't think. Maybe I do, but I'm not sure. On someone that doesn't believe in God, period. We're not here to convince anyone, but I want to make sure that people have a voice to speak. And then, going forwards, we can decide whether that person speaks on that topic again, or if there's any value in it. But there's a lot of division. There are Trinitarians, oneness, Unitarians, all different denominations, all different kinds of doctrines. I want to hear everyone, and we want to keep track of everyone's discussion so that we can, basically what I'm feeling, guys, is that over this last period of 3 years, I haven't really seen any progress in terms of bringing someone from what they believe. And I think that has a lot to do with questioning. In other words, when they are actually answering their own questions, or they can see it in a different light. I don't want this to be pointing fingers. I don't want it to be name calling. I don't want it to escalate. I'm going to moderate, and hopefully I can moderate myself. That's my point. And in the Spirit of God, we should be able to do this. And I think that I really believe that this is what He wants. Unification on truth, but not a kind of forcing of unification. In other words, you don't believe this, you're not part of this group, which was essentially the original design. And that really just showed me that on every aspect, it is so difficult. So this will only work for you if you're willing to listen, and I'm going to do my best to moderate so that each one is able to speak their piece. And we're going to hold you accountable for what you say. In other words, what you're going to say, we're going to hold it. We're not going to shotgun 3 or 4 verses. We're going to share one verse, and then people will be able to address that verse and see, does that really mean what you say? Is it really expressing what you say? So we'll have different views on that particular verse, and people can just listen and make up their own mind. All right. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. This is going to go forwards. I don't know when it's going to start. I don't know the dates that it's going to be. It's not going to be consistent dates. It's essentially when I flip on a switch. It's time consuming. So we'll see how it works out. But you won't know unless you subscribe, and then make sure that you click the notification bell and select always, or else you won't get this notification. You won't even know we're up. As well, I kind of wanted to do this when I had more subscribers, but we'll see how it goes. I might start one soon, someday here. And then if it's not very many people, well, then we'll hold off, okay? But you got to know what you believe, guys. If you believe in something, you got to know what you believe, and you got to be able to defend it. So that's the point. And we're going to hold you, everyone, even myself, all of us, accountable to what we believe, okay? And some things that we believe might be incorrect. So we need to hear what others are saying, not even listening. This is one thing that I found a tremendous problem is people aren't listening to the other person. They're just ready to rebut or argue their point. And I think that it's best if we just listen, get the information so the person doesn't feel rushed to explain what he's saying. And when the information is brought forth, then we allow the other person. And I'm going to do my best to moderate this so it's like, this is not a debate, guys. Anyone, and you don't have to know Greek, you don't have to know Hebrew, you don't have to know the Bible inside out. What you need is a question or an answer. If you got a question, you can ask it. If you got the answer to the question, you can answer it and let everybody else view that and even challenge that answer. And what I believe is going to happen is we're all going to grow from this. And each one will start to decide and start to go towards that way that they feel is true. They'll start to focus on the path of truth, because there's only one truth. And we want to get to the bottom of that. All right. So God bless you. Make sure you subscribe. Take care.